Greetings, Earthlings. Today we have a Nissan Note with a steering pad spiral cable issue. So went to the scrappers and got this replacement kit, which is also a little injured, but we will just be extracting things from it. We wouldn't need the whole unit as it is. So I'll just walk you quickly through what needs to be done. There are two T30 screws or bolts that come from each side of the steering wheel, and then the wheel pops off. After that we have access to the spiral cable assembly, which also houses the wiper and lamp stocks. So let's get to it. So just to quickly recap, the steering pad is off, and since this vehicle does not have audio controls, volume and source select and stuff like cruise control, this plug here only has one wire for the horn and of course the airbag, the SRS cable, which is a special connector. Yeah. So the steering wheel is held on by a 19mm nut, and that comes off fairly easily, just like that. And in order to access the spiral cable assembly, you need to remove the covers. These guys, there's top and bottom. They are held by, I believe, 3 screws. And then the lamp stock and the wiper stock have clips on the side that just sort of slide out. So there are tabs here. You may notice one here, one at the bottom. Pinch those and it should just slide right off. So remember, the wiper stock is the primary stock. It's the one that gets the feed from the vehicle harness through this plug. And then there are some electrical wizardry in here that passes the same juice to the lamp stock. So that also clips, and voila. Yeah, pretty easy. That must have been a big bonus for Nissan. So yes, once those two are off, there are 2 screws in here, one on each side, there and there. Undo those, and then there's a locking latch or clip here, which will then release the assembly. So once that's off, we shall then investigate what's happening in here. Alright, so we have the steering pad assembly off, and I just wanted to quickly show you these plugs. The yellow one, or orange in some cars, is for the SRS, which controls the driver airbag, and the gray one here, this just has one wire because it's just for the horn, but it controls steering controls such as cruise control and volume for your radio. So we have the 2 units out. The one on the right is the one from the vehicle which has a problem. The one on the left is the one we want to butcher for parts. And just so that I can show how this works, there's a circular coil. Not call it a coil, let me call it some sort of bump stop. This is what keeps the whole assembly together from coming apart. So a nice decent trick is to get some metal strips, and just as you unclip each, you would have them pry out so that you can just easily lift it off like that. So I already did that for the one we are going to be salvaging, and now this is the one from the vehicle. So you will notice there are some differences, like this one has a flat bottom end while this other one is thicker. They're from different vehicles, but the internals are all the same. Everything is the same internally. So let's get cracking, find out why this wasn't working. Alright, so we have both the steering pad spirals out. So I'll just crack them open just so that we can see how the inside looks like. Yeah, so there you go. Just like the name says, it's actually a spiral cable that connects to that end for the connectors to the steering wheel, and then the other end down here of course connects to the harness side of the vehicle. So it's a pretty simple mechanism. It's slightly lubricated, as you can see, just to keep it all nice and wet as you rotate the steering wheel over the life of the car. So the problem usually is, actually now that we're here, the problem usually is at this point, this particular section. This is where the cut comes. So after years of operation, you'll find micro tears appearing there, and that's what ends up disabling the cable. So let's find out what's wrong with the one we took out from the vehicle. Should be the same. Yeah, about that. Okay, there's always a first time to everything. I can see some attempts were made to fix it using some regular old wire, and that is why we did not have any function whatsoever. Alright, time to migrate the parts. That's actually quite an interesting discovery. Alright, let's patch it all together and make this something worthwhile. Alright then, we managed to get this done, so the pieces are all stitched back together. Had to do some little electrical cleanup here with some shrink wrap to join the horn wire. Seems to be working. Then I also needed to change this plug, the SRS plug, from this other guy because it was a better fit. It's pretty easy. It's just 2 clips go into the shadow over here. Then yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's see. It's obviously going to be an interesting experience. We'll need to scan for codes and see whether there is anything else that we may have missed, and we'll set this guy back on the road.